Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 13 of the Network Podcast. Today, we're going to be doing a random episode. My name is Sebastiano, and I'm joined by Joseph Inzano.
What's going on, guys?
All right, so we're just going to get right into our overrated and underrated. We did put up some music ones on our story from our previous episode, but those were all pretty even. They were all between 40 and 60% for all five, so we're just going to skip over those. Next week, if we have some more controversial ones that are heavily one way, maybe we'll talk about it more. So for our first overrated and underrated for this week, we have Pepperoni Pizza. Joe, how you feeling about Pepperoni Pizza?
I think it's a bit overrated, but I do like pepperoni pizza, so it's overrated, I'd say.
Yeah, I put it on here because I think it's overrated as well. I was talking to some people last week about some of the best pizza toppings. I don't think it makes the pizza extremely greasy. It doesn't add all that much flavor. I think there are a lot of different toppings I would take over pepperoni pizza.
You know what?
And to a
No,
Yeah.
I'm going to say underrated.
You're going to say underrated now.
Well, now that
Why
you're
is that?
talking about it, now that you're bashing pepperoni pizza, I mean, it's not that bad. It's not flavorless, you know what I'm saying? It's not...
It's not flavorless, but it doesn't add that much as compared to cheese pizza.
It's 100% better than cheese pizza, I'd say that for sure.
I disagree. Name, what's your favorite topping on a pizza?
Chicken bacon ranch has been growing on me. It's pretty
I've
good.
never had that.
Chicken bacon ranch, pretty good.
You know, something that I've only had a couple times, I would never order it myself, but it's really good, vegetable. It's got I don't remember exactly what it have. It has some tomatoes, some broccoli, some mushrooms. That's pretty good.
Bro, eat a salad or something. That doesn't belong on pizza.
No, I know people are probably gonna bash me
Can you
for
believe this
saying
kid's
that.
Italian? Can you believe this kid is Italian? He just said, oh my gosh.
Oh, no. A good old margarita. You have tomato sauce, the fresh mozzarella, not the shredded one, and some basil. That's really good.
I do like
Then
margarita.
when I went to Italy, I had anchovies on my pizza, which surprisingly I thought was really good.
Really?
Then just the usual. I do like a bit of some onions on my pizza, maybe some sausage or whatnot. I'm not saying pepperoni's bad, but I'm saying I feel like after cheese, pepperoni's usually the next thing for everyone. But I don't think I think there are a lot more that comes before. You know what I'm saying?
I think there are better options, but I don't think it's bad at all.
Are you still going to stick with underrated, though?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with underrated.
All right, Joe. What's the next one we got here?
We got talk shows.
I think we're both going to be on the same wavelength, but I'll start with this one. Overrated. And the main thing that we were talking about, or at least that we talked about before recording this, was Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, James Corden, all the late ones, because I've seen a lot of clips of those. I haven't really seen the daytime shows. Those seem just kind of boring, like Ellen, Oprah, and all those. But yeah, I'm going to go with overrated. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, just not a fan of any of them. Jimmy Fallon, just his personality, it's kind of annoying. This comes off as I really do not like that show at all.
It seems so over the top and fake for the show. It's kind of phony sometimes. And did you see the clip a couple months ago of Addison Rae doing TikTok dances, and he had Jimmy Fallon had
I did. It was
he was
bad.
flipping through the pages, and she would change every time he flipped.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
It's
And then-
yeah. John Oliver, I'm a fan of John Oliver, but
Oh, I think the only episode I saw of his was on psychics and stuff like that, because I had to watch it for English class. I thought that was pretty entertaining.
yeah, I don't even know if is that really a talk show though? Yeah, I guess it is.
It was just him on the one I saw. Does he usually have guests, or is it usually just him?
No, it's just him. Maybe it's not. I guess it's not really a talk show, but yeah, that's the only person I kind of watch in that realm.
Yeah, occasionally I would say it is nice to get some people, like actors and stuff, see them get interviewed and see what they're kind of a little bit more like normally and not portraying a different character. But besides that, just the overall concept and like as I said, the phoniness, usually it's just not for me.
Did you see the Wendy Williams clip? The other day?
What was that one?
It was so strange. I forget exactly what it was, but like, she showed a picture of, I guess, a rapper who passed away, and she was like, "Does anybody know who this is?" And she's like, I forget if he had more or less followers in there, but she was like, kind of like, it was just so weird. She was talking about his Instagram followers, and then at the end she was like, "By the way, he just died." It was really strange.
What?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look up that clip after. I don't remember seeing that, but so we're both gonna go with overrated for this one, correct? Talk shows.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, next up, we're gonna go with summer. Do you want to start off with this one?
Summer? Yeah, sure. I think. No, you start off with this one.
Okay, I'll start off how you think. I'm a little bit mixed, but I'm gonna go with overrated. I think it's probably my third favorite season. Or before we go on, Joe, rank all 4 of the seasons in order.
Okay, all right. Winter, my number 1.
Okay.
Snowboard and skiing. I like colder weather for sure. Winter, summer, fall, spring.
All right, that's not too bad. I agree with you. Spring last. Mine would go fall, winter, summer, spring. Just I talked to my family about this last week. Just the classic fall days that I used to remember as I was a kid, either like September, October, a little chilly outside. We'd go to church as a family. Then one of either myself or one of my 2 brothers would have a soccer game during the day. Then we'd come home, put the fire on, have like a family dinner, and watch football. That's like a classic fall day for me. That's what I really remember. And then it has a lot of the holidays I like. The lead up to Halloween, the lead up to Thanksgiving, and even the lead up to Christmas. That's kind of considered more winter, but it's technically the fall. Yeah, so as I was saying, that was just like my classic fall day, which is why it's my number 1. Winter I also really like, as you said. We got the skiing and snowboarding and that kind of stuff. Christmas too, and New Year's and that winter break, we usually have a lot of fun. Even just like staying inside, we usually like, play video games together. Every year there seems to be a different one that we kind of play in the winter time. And then summer, which brings us back to how we got on this topic. I think it's kind of just overrated, especially when we were younger. We used to just like it because we didn't have school.
Oh, I think that's a big
but
part.
But now it's kind of just like, yeah, it's just a little too hot. It's like you get there and you kind of just don't have that much to do all the time. Or you're like, you finally get to summer and you're like, oh, what do I do now? I mean, that might just be a little biased because like my first half of my summer this year wasn't great, but I'm going on vacation next week, and then I'm hopefully going to Europe at the end of August too. So a lot of my exciting things comes in the second half of the summer. So maybe I'll change my mind. And spring is just the only good thing about spring, in my opinion, is that first warm day when you can like wear shorts and be outside and it's not too hot. It's like around 60s. Everyone's outside after winter. That's probably the one main thing.
Well, I think summer, part of the reason it was so great when we were little because there was no school, during that period.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's that overrated. Even though, as you get older, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's overrated.
So you'd say it's underrated?
Yeah, it's kind of it's in the middle. You'd say it's
properly rated, but you have to pick one of the 2.
Yeah, so I'd probably go underrated. I don't hate summer, even though it's the third. Or no, did I put it second?
No, you put it second.
I think I'd put fall over it actually. So even though it's third on my list,
so we'd have the same. Oh, yeah.
no, I
So
have
I
winter
just had
first.
them fall first.
Yeah.
All right. So you're gonna go underrated for summer. I'm gonna go overrated. Let's see. We got number 4, and an interesting one. Growing up, which I feel like that's something people talk about a lot. Do you think growing up is overrated or underrated?
You know, it's funny because I think it's underrated, but I don't know if I'm saying that just because everybody that's older says, "Oh, I wish I was young again." But when you're young, you kind of always wish that you were older. You know what I'm saying? Like at least when I was little, not now
Yeah.
necessarily, but when I was little, I remember I'd always want to be older. I'd always want to be like, you know, even things like want to be taller to get on the ride at parks and stuff. Just want to be like, bigger and stuff like that. But I don't know. Like as you get older, I don't know because I'm not that old yet, so it's a tough one. I'm not sure if I'd say it's.
Yeah, but now we're kind of in the stage where we're entering like another chapter of our life.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like we didn't really have a lot of responsibilities up until you kind of get to high school and have to start looking for college. And now it's even like little stuff like making your own doctor's appointments, having to call the bank when you need something like a new credit card or you have a question about it, or you have to like open a checking account and stuff like that. But I had this like weird thing come over me. I was like driving back from somewhere the other day and I was just thinking about growing up, and I was just like, dang, there are some things and like some experiences that you have when you're a kid that like I'm never going to experience again. But then I realized like there's like more to life, and it's like I may not ever be able to like have a summer where I had nothing to do and I was kind of just relaxing and hang out with my friends. I didn't have anything to worry about except like my summer assignments for school. But then there's also like better things now, like going on vacation like on my own and just like living without my parents for a little bit, experiencing my own life and stuff like that, like moving away for college and stuff like that. So I feel I'm going to go with you, just say it's underrated, mainly because of how people always say, oh, growing up is so overrated. You have all these responsibilities and stuff. There's a lot of good things, like I mentioned, and also when you get even older than us.
You think people think it's overrated?
Yeah, I feel like that's a really cliche thing that people say, that, oh, growing up is so overrated. Stay young forever where you don't have any responsibilities and you can just enjoy your life.
Okay, I see what you mean. Maybe I didn't understand the question fully. I thought you meant like. I thought you meant like
perspective on
growing up as in like your childhood, like or.
Oh, I mean the years when you were thinking I meant like the years when you were young.
Yeah.
So you think being young is underrated?
For sure, yeah.
And like, yeah, I would agree with that too. But then going back to how I was interpreting it, would you say it's overrated or underrated?
No, I don't think that's overrated either. I think it's definitely strange at times and weird, like taking that step into just doing things that you haven't done before. Like, even going to college and just not being around your parents as much, your siblings as much. Like, I know that's going to be strange for me because I'm not the most social person, but,
Yeah, for me as well. Like, I was thinking the other day, I don't think I've been, like, more than a week without one of my parents since, like, I don't even remember how old I was. I was probably, like, 12, 13, maybe 14. I did, like, a soccer camp where I stayed overnight for a week. And I remember even how weird that was, that I was like, I saw my parents sometimes while I was there because like they would come and watch the scrimmage at night, but even just not living with them and being on my own, especially because I was so young, like even that was a weird experience for me.
Yeah, I mean, so I did the Michigan camp for architecture.
Yeah.
What, like 3 years?
Was that 2 summers ago?
Years? Yeah, 2 summers ago? Or 3 maybe, I don't know. In between
who knows
junior
with
and senior year.
With COVID and stuff.
Dude, I can't.
What did you say, between junior and senior?
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, that was 2019, 2 years ago.
All right. Not that old. But it was definitely weird at first. Like the first week I was there for 3 weeks. The first week was I'm just super antisocial, so I didn't talk to many people. But as I got to know everybody there, I started talking to more people, and it felt like I felt completely normal by week 2 and 3. So hopefully college will go the same.
Yeah, I think you'll definitely get used to it. I was like a little worried that there would be a point when I wouldn't necessarily be panicking, but I'd be like, oh man, like I'm on my own now. I'm starting the next part of my life. Am I going to be like freaking out a little bit? But because I've been home, I didn't really have to experience that. And I'm sure it'll definitely get better as you go along. Maybe in the beginning it'll be a bit difficult, but I'm sure after a few weeks you'll definitely get used to it. Mm-hmm. All right. So we're both going to say underrated for number 4. We have 2 left. So Joe, what do you got for number 5?
Number 5 is tattoos. Tattoos, instant overrated, guys. Not a fan of tattoos. I don't think they look bad on some people, but I would not. I don't think I'd ever get a tattoo. I don't think so.
Yeah. In stages of my life, I used to go back and forth. When I was young, I used to hate them. Then, like, as I got a little bit older, like a couple years ago, I used to think, like, maybe I could see myself getting one. They look kind of cool. And now I'm at, like, I feel like it would be so stupid personally for me, especially because, like, that's with you for the rest of your life. Like, think about how many decisions you make in your life that after a few weeks you get bored of it. Like, you impulse buy something, or you do something like, man, maybe I really didn't need to go on that trip. Maybe I really didn't need to buy this. Maybe I didn't need to do this. I feel like a tattoo, there's no way that, like, you'd be content with that for the rest of your life. And, like, as time progresses and stuff. So, yeah, I'm going to agree with you and say they're overrated.
I just remember my grandpa, when he was in the Navy, he got a tattoo. And, like, as he got older, you couldn't even tell what it was anymore because, you're getting wrinkles and stuff like that. And, like, as you get older, the tattoos don't look great anymore. I don't know. There are some tattoos that look cool.
Yeah.
Like, McGregor's tattoo looks cool. Poirier's tattoo on his chest, like the tiger stripes, that looks cool.
Yeah.
A lot of athletes have tattoos.
Yeah, I feel like all tattoos look a lot better on athletes just because they're, like, jacked. But then eventually, once they get older, and as you said, they're going to get wrinkly, they're going to get fat. I want to know how those tattoos are going to look like.
That's true. Yeah.
If you ever got a tattoo, what would it be and where on your body would it be?
It'd probably be like a small tattoo. I don't know. I've never even thought about it. I've never given that any thought before. Probably. I have no idea. I honestly
a little wave on your pinky.
No, that'd be something kind of meaningful. Maybe if someone close to me passed away, I'd get like the date or something like that.
Yeah.
Something meaningful. You know what I'm saying? This can be there permanently. Not like It wouldn't just be anything.
I don't know. I kind of find it weird when, like, people get a tattoo for the date when, like, someone close to them dies. Like, I understand it means a lot to them, but I don't, like, necessarily understand the point of it.
You call me weird.
And maybe it's just because, like, it's... No, I'm not honest. Like, personally, maybe touch wood. It's because it's not something I've had to personally experience, luckily. So maybe that's the reason why I don't fully understand it.
All right, maybe the day, like, my child is born or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, wait, although you say that, my uncle, he did have 2 really nice tattoos on his forearms after both his children were born, and they were like, they had like angel wings and stuff. That was actually really nice, and that was meaningful too. I like that one, but I think he covered them up with like different tattoos.
Why?
I don't know. I don't remember. Yeah. There's a time and a place for them, maybe, but personally not for me, and I'm going to have to go overrated.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so we did 1 extra this week, so we got 6. So number 6 is sleep, and I used to think sleep was overrated because I wish I had more time to, like, do things during the day, or, like, I wish it wasn't so necessary for, like, us to function. But after listening to a couple podcasts about sleep and how important it is to get at least 7 hours of sleep and the effects it could have, I'm going to go with underrated.
Saba listens to Joe Rogan one time, and No, it's a subject.
All right, it wasn't about the fact that it was Joe Rogan. It was more about the doctor that was on it, not Joe Rogan himself. But I listened to another different one about it with a sleep doctor too that I found really interesting. But anyway, how you feeling about sleep?
I feel like, I'd probably like sleep better if I could wake up easier. Waking up, it sucks. I hate waking up. We've already went over this on the podcast before, but I have trouble waking up in the morning. Excuse me. But I don't know if I'd say, sleep. It's tough to say if sleep is overrated or underrated, I'd say it's overrated when, I sleep for like 12 hours and I wake up and half the day's gone. Then I'm like, damn, why did I sleep so long? But how important it is, I don't know. I haven't listened to the podcast yet.
Oh, yeah, definitely about the importance. But I think it's like, you see people on TikTok and other social media that's like, you guys got to grind. If you're getting more than 6 hours of sleep, you're not working hard enough. And after listening to the podcast especially, and kind of what I already thought about it, that's such a detrimental message to send to like kids who just pick up on everything they hear. Because one of the things that the doctor said was like, if you don't get at least 7 hours of sleep, it can severely damage you later in life, like as severe as making you more prone to cancer and Alzheimer's and like other stuff like that. And he also said that there are a lot more accidents caused by drowsy driving than being like intoxicated because of drugs or alcohol, but they just like don't share those kind of stats, which it was coming from a doctor, so I like to believe it was true, but don't take that for me. If you want to do your own research, you can do that. But I just thought that was crazy when he said that, and like made me think that sleep was a lot more important now, and especially because what?
Go on. I was gonna say something. Go on.
Yeah, because sometimes I feel like, I don't really need that much sleep. There are people that get less sleep than me, and they still function. But after listening to that, I'm making sure to get my 7 hours at least every night.
Yeah, do you think you feel different after you get 7 hours of sleep and after you get 5 hours of sleep? Like for the rest of the day, obviously, when you wake up, you're gonna feel different.
I don't know. For me, I feel like it's a psychological thing. Like, because you obviously know that you got less sleep. So right away I wake up, you're like, oh man, I only got 6 hours of sleep today when I usually got 7. So maybe that's in my head. During high school, I used to feel like when I first started getting a little bit less sleep, like more like 6.5, 6, a couple times that I only got like 6 hours of sleep. I felt like I had a headache when I woke up and just like took a few hours to get away. But once again, I don't know if that was just in my head. And then even when I get like 7 hours of sleep, still usually around like 2 or 3 o'clock, I start getting a little bit tired, or like maybe a couple hours after I eat lunch. So what about you?
I mean, when I was playing hockey last year, or like a year and a half ago, and I had to drive to practice, every night, I'd be coming back. I'd be getting back home at like, 1 in the morning, almost every night. And I'd only be getting like 6 hours of sleep, because we had school the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get used to it, I feel like it's not that bad. But obviously I'm not the scientist, and there's probably something wrong with me during the day, or I was, not as productive.
That's also. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I wasn't as productive as I could have been if I had gotten more sleep, but I don't know. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I saw you in first period, buddy. I'm sure a couple hours of sleep could have helped you here and there. But yeah, that's why I thought it was so interesting too, because I used to think that it was like, oh, like if you just get less sleep, your body will get used to it, and like you'll be able to function fine. You won't have like all these negative side effects. But what he was saying is like you have to get 7 hours of sleep, and you can't like make it up. So you can't sleep like 6 hours for like 5 days a week and then 8 or 9 hours another day. It doesn't balance out like that. You have to like, once you lose sleep for a night, it's like gone forever kind of. It was weird. If anyone wants to listen to it, I got to look up the actual name of the person real
Joe
quick.
Rogan
but it was
podcast. Joe Rogan.
It was, yeah, it was one of Joe Rogan's podcasts, but it was a sleep doctor and a sleep expert, so it's not just some random person.
Sleep.
Yeah, Joe Rogan's far from a doctor, but this person actually was. So Joe, just to finish it off, did you say sleep was overrated or underrated?
Tough to say. I'd say underrated. I like sleeping, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. As I said, I'm gonna agree with you. And just for anyone that wants to listen to it and listen about sleeping, his name is Matthew Walker, who's an English scientist and professor of neuroscience and psychology at the University of California, Berkeley. So hopefully the stats I said that came from him are correct. But as I said, don't just believe everything you hear. Maybe there's some further research.
What was the school?
But anyway, what?
What was the school?
UC Berkeley.
Is that like a community college?
No. That's where Bose goes. University of California, Berkeley. It's a pretty good school, I'm pretty sure.
I know, I was just messing with
That would have been funny if I said all that and it was like, he's a professor at a community college. He's like, no credentials. Anyway.
Hey, whoa. Just because they're a professor at community college doesn't mean they have no credentials.
Whoa. You're the one that made it sound like that he was less, like he had less pedigree because if he taught at a community college. That was you. Don't put that on me.
That's not true. I was joking about the school. Itself.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, let's move on. There's nothing wrong with any... Hey, nah, you started this. You started
You're going to have to take that out now.
All right. So that's it. Be on the lookout for our Instagram story if you want to vote on those polls for the 6 things. Once again, it's pepperoni pizza, talk shows, summer, growing up, tattoos, and sleep. So then, a question I think about sometimes, Joe, is do you think it's okay to do the right thing for the wrong reasons? And here's an example I have.
Okay, cool.
Like, let's say you, like, donate, but you donate in mind, like, thinking, like, oh, if I donate money, maybe something good will happen to me in return. Do you think that's fine, or do you think you shouldn't be doing good deeds for that reason?
I'm not exactly sure. Like, with that example, is there 100% you're gonna get something back, or you just maybe believe you're gonna get something back?
No, you know how people believe in like karma and stuff. So like, oh yeah, if I donate $100 now, that means that I'm gonna build up some good karma. So I know like somewhere in the future it'll get paid back to me.
I don't know if that's kind of stretching it. I don't know if that's. I don't know.
Do you have an example doing something
really have
good for the wrong reasons? Like maybe like volunteering. You know how people volunteer just so they can put it on their resume or put it on their college application so it makes them look good, but they don't really care about what they're doing.
Okay, or like big companies donating for tax write-offs. You know?
Okay. There's a business example.
You know what I'm saying? No, but like big companies donate money to charities for tax write-offs. It's kind of like, you're doing the right thing, but why are you doing it so that you don't have to, pay taxes?
So what's your opinion on that?
I don't know. What was your example?
Just the concept in general. I just had the example of like, I said that you donate money with in mind that you're building up good karma, or I think more of an example with people our age is like doing volunteer work to look better on your resume or look better for colleges when you don't really care about the volunteer work, or you don't necessarily care, because I'm sure some people do, about the people you're helping or what you're actually doing to help the community.
I don't know. That's a tough question. I mean, obviously I think it's okay to do it. Maybe it's not, morally as correct as someone that is doing it solely for the purpose of, helping others. But, I don't know. I think it's okay, but it's a odd question.
Yeah, well, you seem a little uncomfortable. I'm going to say I think it's completely okay. Because if you think about it, like you're saying that, think about how many good things there would be. I worded that horribly. Think about how less volunteers there would be if people only tried to do it out of the goodness of their heart. Yes, I understand that maybe they're doing it for the wrong reasons, at least in the examples that we said, even with Joe's business one. So would you rather have them not donate at all and not help, not for them to help others, even if they're doing it so they can make more money and not have to pay as much taxes? That doesn't change the fact that they're donating to help other people. And I think that's the same thing with like volunteering or just donating in general, or just any good deed in general. If you do the good deed, even for the wrong reasons, you still did the good deed. So even if I volunteer in a soup kitchen, even if I volunteer to help like special needs kids, the fact that I did it to get a volunteer letter that proves I got hours, I can put it on my resume, blah, 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 that doesn't change the fact that I helped someone else. You know what I mean?
I guess, but when you think about yourself and think about what you've done, you know, do you feel good? Would you feel like you help? You know, I don't.
I know what you mean. It's
it
like
takes away from.
Like people always say, like, I'll spread positivity and do good things because like it'll make you feel good, and it'll really like put a smile on someone else's face. But I think even if you do that just to make yourself feel good, that still doesn't change the fact that you still made someone else's day. You know what I mean? And I know you kind of mentioned it earlier. Maybe it's not 100% morally correct, but I think it doesn't change the fact that you did a good deed still.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I totally agree with that.
So you're saying you'd rather have like big businesses not donate to charity at all?
No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, if I'm the charity...
Joe, you're saying you hate charity.
No, but you know, if I'm sitting here as the charity, and I'm like, you know, the only reason, or if I'm sitting here as, I don't know, the only reason you're doing that deed is to, is for your tax write-offs or to get the volunteer hours. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, there's a good chance you're not actually going to the soup kitchen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's hard. I don't know. That's tough. Because it's hard to say.
I want to hear your thinking, though. And, like, just hear your perspective as well.
It doesn't... I don't think it means as much. That's tough to say, too. That's maybe I'm not wording that correctly. But... It's tough when you know the other person wouldn't be doing it if they didn't have an incentive to do it. Like, such as the volunteer hours. Because...
So let's say... I'm sorry, you can continue.
No, I don't know what I'm really trying to say, but
I was just saying, like, let's say a soup kitchen, they probably need a certain amount of workers to help feed everyone. I feel like they would rather have 100 people when, like, most of them are probably doing it just to look good, then they'd rather have, like, 5 people who really care about it. And I could be wrong. I'm sure there are people that would only have 5 people that really just want to work hard and make a difference in others' lives. But still, I feel like they'd rather have more workers so they could help more people, which may be a little bit naive now that I think about it.
It just doesn't feel like it means as much. I think that it doesn't feel like it means as much.
So I have a theoretical question I was thinking about. Let's say you were the head of a charity.
Yep. And
someone robbed a bank.
Okay.
But they donated all the money to your charity. Would you accept it?
What's my charity for?
I don't know. Just anything. What's something that you care about? Or just something that's important in, like, today's day and age.
I don't know, like basically anything for, like, little kids. I'd probably... I don't know, any kind of charity.
You know they stole the money. Would you accept
it? Yeah, I'd probably accept it. Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely accept it.
What's the minimum amount? Would it need to be a certain minimum amount for you to accept it?
No. Who's going to take it from the charity? Is the government gonna ask for it back? Like, oh, you know what I'm saying? If
that
they
would
ever
be
find
interesting. What if someone robbed a bank, the charity didn't know that the person that donated the money robbed it, then they find out the person that robbed the bank, and they go to the charity, they're like, yeah, that money was robbed, we need it back. I don't think they would do that. I don't really know, though. That'd be an interesting scenario.
Yeah. Yes, I would accept the money.
Government, though. That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, it's true. I would accept the money, though. Yes.
Yeah, I feel like it's a bit of a tough moral place, but let's say someone like donates you $100,000. Think how much you could help whatever charity you're doing. You said something for little kids. Like, think how much that could help them, and you could always just, I don't know. That is a tough question. I would say I'd probably accept the money too, especially
would you say no? Imagine passing up on. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I'd say no. Passing up on, millions of dollars for your charity.
I'm not saying millions. Let's say it's like 200,000 or 100,000.
Money's money. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Any donation probably helps.
Yeah. I think I'd have to agree with you there. I hope no one is too upset with
I don't think
our
anybody
answer for
would
that
be
one.
upset.
Our parents may have just disowned us after this one if they listen to this back. Well, let's move on to the next thing. Right. So we just have a couple would you rathers to wrap it up. They're both also money related. Mm-hmm. So Joe, would you rather earn $20,000 a year doing a job you love, or $200,000 a year with a job you hate?
All right, this is, the classic question. I don't like this question much. It's obviously going to be $20,000 a year doing what I love over $200,000 a year. I mean, if you think about where you spend a majority of your time, I'm assuming we're talking about like a 40 to 60 hour work week.
Yeah, like a full-time job, not a part-time job like you're in school. Like you graduated college, this is what you're doing for a living. Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be $20,000 a year doing the job I love, so not much. It's just completely outweighs $200,000 a year for the job you hate. Oh, excuse me.
Well, what if it's $500,000 a year?
I don't.
Or here's a better question for you. At what point would you pick the money over happiness? Like how much a year would it have to be?
Dude, it would have to be a good amount. Because you think about it, you're sacrificing your time. You're sacrificing your time for being miserable at a job you don't like for money. So if that money amount can make up the amount of time I'm losing by hating my job, and, I could do other things with my time, I don't see how it could. Yeah, I don't know at what point it would be that it would have to be millions, in the millions, I'd say.
Yeah, I would agree with you. At first, I was like, I was thinking like 500,000. Like, I'd totally rather be miserable doing that. But as you said, like, think about how much of your life you're at work, and also it transitions to the rest of your life. Like, sometimes your parents come home, they're stressed or they're annoyed because they had work, so they either have to take time to relax, or they come home, they're already angry, then they just like yell at you or one of your siblings. Instead, like, imagine if they just came home happy, they loved their job. I feel like it would be worth it. Their overall life, they'd be living a lot happier life, and that would probably make them happier in the long run, and it would definitely be worth it. I also saw like a TikTok. It might have been a TikTok. It might have been on YouTube, a video the other day of this guy that was saying, I don't remember exactly what he did, but he was building a mansion. Like, he's the one that purchased it because that's how much money he had. And he was just like, nothing was going well for him that day, and he was really upset. So, and he walked in like on the mansion building site all stressed and annoyed about the day he's having, and he just walks in and he sees like all the workers just like with their music on, dancing around, doing their jobs for like minimum wage. And like that kind of also puts it into perspective. Just because you have more money doesn't make you happier. And just like, as you said, you have to put your time into something, and time is money, as the old cliche goes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I agree with you. I don't know if there's any amount where I'd rather take like the money instead of happiness, especially if you love what you're doing. Like you go in, like I would say like maybe 10, 20 times a year you have bad days at work, but besides that you love your job and you're happy there.
Yeah. I mean 20,000 isn't a ton, but
you could always marry rich.
There we go. That's the thought process there.
Hey, you can make it work.
All right. You want to move on to the next one?
Yeah, our last and final question. You want to say it or should I?
Sure. Would you rather lose all the money you've earned this year or lose all the memories you've gained this year? What? We got to make this a little bit harder. I think we got to make this a little bit harder. I say all the money you've ever earned or the memories. Ooh, maybe we're not old enough. You know what I'm saying? We haven't made that much money yet, you know?
Yeah, I thought it would be a bit more difficult, but it has to be the memories. And for me, the main reason is like even though I haven't done that much this year, is because I met like most, if not all, of my Drexel friends this year. Mm-hmm. So even if like I did work at ShopRite throughout the year, I actually just had my last day a couple of days ago. So it would be I did make a good amount of money, but still like I wouldn't know any of the friends I do now. Maybe some of the other memories aren't as important. But I think, like, memories are irreplaceable. Money, there's unlimited money in the world. You could always make more money one way or another, but you can never make more memories.
Yeah.
For all those kids listening, put that on get that framed in a poster on your house.
Save Alano.
Someone else definitely said that quote before in different words, but yeah. What was your harder scenario at this?
I don't know. That was so inspirational. I was going to go with the money, but now that you said that.
What can I say? I have a way with words.
I think I'm going to save the memories now.
I was going to go for the $200 I made this year instead, but I'm just going to go for the memories now after that speech.
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe a tough one could be, would you rather... I gotta think. No, I don't know.
All right, what if it's like a finite amount? Like, would you rather have $100 but forget 2021 thus far, or would you rather have no money this year, $0 in earnings, and know all the your memories? And also, as I said last time, at what amount would you pick money if you're gonna pick memories for this one?
I don't know, nothing probably. Nothing can really replace time, you know what I'm saying? The time that you've had. As cliche as that sounds. It's your speech. It's your speech that's done it to me.
That does sound cliche, but I remember I asked like my dad one time, like, how much money do you think you would need just to like not work the rest of your life and live, let's say you work to like 70 or 80. Mm-hmm. So I feel like if I got that amount of money, that's like $5 million, I would forget the last 7 months of my life, dude. For my parents, just to like not work and like be set for the rest of their life, I think that's worth it. Like, I'm only 19. I can like, I know as important as time is, like, you could make that time back, you know?
I disagree with that.
Just seven months of your life. 2021, not that much has happened.
7 months?
That is like 1/23rd, or like, no, it's more like half a year. It's more like 1/34 of your whole life.
If someone woke up from a coma, or no, because they wouldn't be actually living it out. Huh. No, I'd probably still go with the time. It would have to be $5 million.
No, not $5 million. Let's say however much your parents say. I forgot what the amount was that my dad said, but like, let's say your parents, you're like, all right, if we had this amount of money and we lived to like, let's say 70 or 80, whatever the average is, we wouldn't have to work the rest of our lives and we'd be set. Would you erase the last 7 years of your life? Like, you don't have the memories
7 years
for that
now.
to happen. Sorry, 7 months. 7 months.
Okay. even 7 months, then you're kind of putting like a price on what your years are worth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that apparently like, my 7 months of my life are worth $5 million.
I mean,
so you'd say no amount of money for the memories.
I don't know. That's a tough question. There's probably gonna be some people that are like, I want to take the money. You got to take the money. But...
Now, there are definitely some people listening that are siding with you that are like, there's no amount of money. But I'm thinking like, yeah, if my parents could be set the rest of their lives, they got plenty of years left. Touch wood. They got plenty of years left in their lives. Now, I don't want to be jinxing anything, but they got plenty of years left in their life. If they could be set for the rest of their life, not have to worry about it, I think that would be worth the past 7 months of my life.
I don't think, like, if I asked my parents what they'd want me to do, there's no way.
They'd pick the memories. They'd pick the memories.
No
That's
way.
just what parents do, though.
That's true. That's true.
So you gotta repay them, you know?
I don't know. Yeah, that's a tough question. But all right.
Yeah, maybe that is a tough question, but that's where we're gonna end it. I also want to put that, Joe, if you remind me, to put that on our story tomorrow. We're recording this late, so it's Monday. It's got to get out tomorrow. A little bit of a quick turnaround, but I want to know what you guys would do. Would you guys? I got to figure out how I'm gonna phrase it. But would you guys listening? Would you forget all of 2021 thus far? Just for your parents to have enough money to be set for the rest of their life. I don't mean like
give it 10 million.
10 million.
Put 10 million. Yeah, 10
All
million.
right. So yeah, that's a good idea. So would you have 10 million to give to your parents if you have to forget all of your 2021 this far? I want to know what people are gonna say. I'll make it a yes or no, so it's easy. People don't have to type it in. People usually do that less when they have to type it in. They just like pressing buttons. All right, Joe. Any closing remarks?
Nope. Covered it all.
All right. We might have a bit of a weird schedule the next few weeks because I'm going away and Joe's going away. I might do another episode with Costa, maybe one or two other guests, but we'll see. We're going to still try and keep it weekly on Tuesday. But once again, thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week, guys.